Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today it's Wednesday and it's May the 29th, 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. I always say the tide changes so frequently on these YouTube streets. So you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Well, we have another interesting story with a connection from Fort Liberty. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, Utility Worker Killed by Fort Liberty Soldier in Moore County. I'll provide you with a summary here and I'll identify some of my sources for you in the description box. Now, this is a case that appears to be getting nationwide attention. It's about a special operations officer who shot and killed someone who was trespassing on his property. And the reason it's getting so much attention is because of the two parties that are involved. It has also left many wondering whether special operations personnel are being targeted right here at home and whether the FBI should be more involved in this case. And the incident we're discussing took place in an off-base location in Carthage, North Carolina, which is approximately 45 to 50-minute drive from the post at Port Liberty, and it was the residence of an Army colonel who just happened to be assigned to Special Operations Command. So let's put things in perspective. It was Friday night, May the 3rd, and it was after 8 p.m. Police force received a report from the resident at that location, the colonel's resident. The caller indicated that someone was trespassing on their property, taking pictures of their home and of their children, and being aggressive when confronted. So police were dispatched, but in the meantime, there must have been an argument or some type of altercations, because when police arrived at that residence, they found one man dead approximately 250 yards from the roadway along power lines on that residential property. So now you had one deceased man, and he did not have any identification on him, and he was also not wearing any type of uniform identifying him as working for a specific company. And keep in mind, this was after 8 p.m. And in a nearby location, police found another man inside a car, and he was found to be associated with the deceased. They soon discovered that there was a language barrier because both men were Russian descent. They were from a place in Russia called Chechen, and at that point, an interpreter had to be called in to assist with translation. And the situation began looking like a puzzle with many pieces just not fitting together. There was a lot of unanswered questions. The deceased did not have any identification on him, but the police did find an international identification inside the automobile with the other gentleman, and that ID'd the deceased as a 35-year-old Russian national who lived in Chicago, Illinois. This was later confirmed to be true by his family. Family members also stated that he was a subcontractor working for Utilities One, a company based in New Jersey. Just didn't make any sense. Investigators still needed to verify his employment, but keep in mind, he was not wearing any clothing that identified him as being part of a utility company, and he did not have any utilities equipment in the car. All he had was two cell phones with Russian-speaking communication and an American-made camera. That was it. Now, the homeowner and the person responsible for discharging the firearm that took the life of this trespasser, he was interviewed by authorities and released. He was identified as a colonel assigned to Special Operations Command on Fort Liberty. His name was not given, and it makes sense, right? Fort Liberty headquarters, Special Operations Command was contacted for comment, and they said that at this time they're aware of the situation involving that soldier, but since this is an active investigation, they did not want to comment because they didn't want to compromise the integrity of the process. Now, let's return back to the deceased and his companion for a few minutes. Now, there's so many questions yet to be answered. What were they doing on that homeowner's property after 8 p.m.? Family members say the deceased was there taking pictures of work he had recently completed. But how is it you had done work there and nobody recognized you? But why would you be there uninvited, unannounced? Even if you had done work there before, that don't give you any right to be there on the people's property. That's private property. Why so late in the evening? How come you didn't have any legitimate ID? And why did you not leave when you were asked to do so? These are questions everybody hoped would be addressed in the following weeks. It seems unlikely that a utility company would send workers to anybody's address in that city or any place else without first notifying the homeowners and without prior coordination. And as far as the deceased family members, they told the media he was shot 4 times, once in the hand, twice in the back, and once in the face. And apparently they have a petition on social media where they're demanding justice, and specifically they want the homeowner to be charged with murder. Maybe they just don't understand how things are done here. If you're not invited and you're told to leave, you better follow through, or there just might be some unexpected consequences. And we really have to pay attention to what's been going on with power grids because they have been under attack throughout the country. And I know I remember approximately 18 months ago, there was an attack on 2 power stations in that same town of Carthage, and it left over 45,000 people without power. The report stated at that time that 2 gunmen had fired shots into 2 substations, causing serious damage. And investigators believe that the people responsible for that attack had done their research. They had prior knowledge of substations and how to conduct an attack. And security officials did say that we should be vigilant because this seems to be an emerging trend. Hit power stations and leave residents without that vital resource. Now, there's another concern that's been added to this disturbing puzzle. Not only that the presence of these 2 men not being able to speak English, nobody knows anything about them, but it's left people wondering whether or not their presence at that location was part of a deliberate act. It has left many wondering whether special operations personnel are just being targeted. It was reported that U.S. Special Ops soldiers around the U.S. have experienced strange interactions, and they say that it involves suspicious surveillance of soldiers and their families. So I could understand the need to be concerned. I could understand or appreciate the concern of this colonel finding these 2 men. It's late and they out there, and I'm sure he went out and he asked them what in the so and so they were doing there and directed them to leave, and they didn't leave, and before you know it, it was a pow pow pow. So sources have reported that power company employment is often a cover for surveillance action, and they're wondering why the FBI is not more involved. But the FBI said they're aware of the situation, but they don't see a need for them to get involved at this time. But I'm going to stay on top of this case, and I'll try to bring you updates as it becomes available because it would be really interesting to see what additional information comes to light within the next few weeks and months. And that's all I have for you right now, but feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video, and by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one, that's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.